Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In this video, we are going to talk about the death of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, according to the Holy Quran. So I thought I would show you from Hakikatul Wahi, where the Promised Messiah has talked about this topic, what our basic fundamental argument is regarding the death of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. So let me first take you over to the webpage alislam.org, where you can find this book that I've just referred to. So if you just type in the search bar Hakikatul Wahi, this is the Urdu title, but the English title is The Philosophy of Divine Revelation. So if you search for it, you will easily find this page where Hakikatul Wahi is downloadable in multiple formats. As you can see below here, PDF, Apple Books, Google Play, Google Books, Amazon Kindle. I have talked about this book in the past as well in my broadcasts and possibly in the future as well. There are many different topics that are covered in this book, and I will be covering those topics as I go along. So in this book, once you download the PDF version, on page number 40, as you can see here, the Promised Messiah, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, peace be upon him, founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, talks about the Quranic verses that categorically prove the death of Jesus, death of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and he draws our attention to this verse. The very first verse to talk about is فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي كُنْتَ أَنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيْهِمْ. This verse, it talks about the death of Jesus categorically. Here, the translation is given in the footnote. It says, "But since you did cause me to die, you have been the watcher over them." These are the words of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, recorded in chapter 5, verse 118, Surah Al-Maidah, which are the words of Jesus that he's going to say on the day of judgment. So on the day of judgment, Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, is going to say that when you caused me to die, you were the watcher over them. To suggest here, the Promised Messiah writes, to suggest here that the word tawaffi means ascension to heaven with the physical body is categorically false, because it is evident from these same verses of the Holy Quran that this question will be asked of Hazrat Isa on the day of judgment. And so this interpretation, it implies that prior to his death, he will appear before God in the same condition of physical ascension, and then he will never die, as there is no death after the day of judgment, and such a notion is utterly false. So you can see the fact that this belief that Jesus Christ was physically ascended to heaven, that a lot of non-Ahmadi Muslims have, it becomes incoherent, it becomes illogical, because this verse would make it impossible for him to come back. Because if he were to come back, he would not be able to say on the day of judgment that when you caused me to die, you were the watcher over them. Because this statement would not make sense. Because if he is going to come back and stay and know the condition of the Christians and how many of them are worshiping him, he would not be able to make the statement on the day of judgment. He would say that, yes, the people had become astray, and I tried to bring them back to the right path, or something along those lines. But he doesn't say that. The Quran says that on the day of judgment, he's going to say, when you caused me to die, you were the watcher over them. I don't know what happened after that. So it's very clear that he has already passed away. He died a natural death. He lived his life and he died a natural death. And he did not die on the cross. That's another element that I'll talk about in some other video. But basically, we believe, the Ahmadiyya Muslim perspective on this topic is that Jesus Christ passed away a natural death. He did not die on the cross, and he was not physically ascended to heaven. Spiritually, yes, after when a person passes away, they spiritually ascend to heaven. Another point that should be remembered when it comes to this topic is that Jesus, so I've already covered this part where he says that this reply of his on the day of judgment, that I did not know what happened to my ummah after my ascension to heaven in my physical body, is proven patently false by the belief that proposes that he will come back to the world before the day of judgment. The other issue here is in relation to the word tawaffi, which is used in the Holy Quran in relation to Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. It cannot mean ascension to heaven with a physical body. because that would be, non-Ahmadis try to only apply this meaning to Jesus Christ, but the whole world knows that the word tawafi means to seize the soul and not seize the body. And we cannot have a special meaning for Hazrat Isa alayhi salam that it means physical ascension, raising to heaven with a physical body. And so this cannot apply because the same word is used for many others. It's been used in Islamic literature. The same word has been used to refer to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The same word has been used to refer to others, and they're passing away. The same word tawafi has been used to refer to their death. Then the other thing to remember is that as far as the consensus of the Sahaba, the companions, is concerned, this is very clear that the only consensus that we can be sure of that they had is that all prophets have indeed died, because at the time of the passing, at the time of the death of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu gathered all the Sahaba, the companions, and read out this verse of the Holy Quran, Ma Muhammadun illa Rasul, qad khalat min qablihi Rasul, meaning that Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, was only a human messenger, not God, and all messengers have passed away before him. So it's something that he recited, and it's very clear, and we know that the Sahaba were there, and they all agreed that this is what this verse means, that all the messengers have passed away. Because some of the Sahaba at that time were saying that no, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has not passed away. He has just ascended to heaven, or he's going to return. And at that time, this was read out. And you can read more on this in this book on page number 42. So this is a brief discussion I wanted to have today about the death of Jesus Christ as per the Holy Quran, and also this hadith which talks about what happened immediately after the death of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how this verse of the Quran was read out by Hazrat Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu, which made it clear to everyone that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam died a natural death just because he's a messenger, and all other messengers have passed away just like him before him, and there's no exception in this regard.